Hi guys, it's Ray with Ray's Turquoise Turtle. Today I am going to get down to basics a little bit, just a plain glitter tumbler. I sanded this cup down, took it outside and spray painted it. It is very cold, so it is not the greatest spray paint job, but it will be fine. So I'm going to use the epoxy method to glitter this one. So I have my resin mixed up, and it is getting pretty warm, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to spread maybe, but it'll be tacky. And this is a 20-ounce hog tumbler with a handle, so you do have to make sure you get the handle. I would normally only use maybe 5 mLs, but because this is already starting to thicken because it's so warm, I may need to use a little bit more to stretch it. But when you're glittering using the epoxy method, you want a good even coverage. So just keep working it, pulling some off. Make sure you get around the handle. You can see how tacky this is already getting, which will actually be perfect to hold the glitter. It just makes it a little more difficult to work on. And don't forget your bottom. And I do have to go back and address the handle, yes. I'm just going to get my cup over here. So make sure you do the top of the handle. And you can stop your turner if you want to do your handle. It won't hurt anything. But do make sure you get all around it, under it, and the little cracks. Don't be intimidated by working on a handled cup. A lot of people are afraid of them. They're actually not that difficult. You'll be fine. So I'm going to watch this again as it comes around and look for any void spots, any uneven spots. Make sure I have full coverage on that handle. Okay. So I'm just going to check the bottom one more time. And I can see a void on this side of the handle. So I do want to get that. Now I am going to hit this with the torch just for a minute, just to warm that resin back up a little bit. I know it's already warm, but just to kind of smooth it out if I can. And again, I'm going to look for any voids as it comes around. Because you definitely don't want voids when you're doing glitter. Especially if you're doing the epoxy method where you should be one coat and good. So I'm just going to wipe my hands off real quick. I'm going to move my cup out of the way. I'm going to switch this paper out for a clean one. So this is just, I don't even know what yellow it is. I put it in a different shaker. But you're just going to get started. This cup's actually going to be a wood grain peekaboo when it's done. But It's the first solid glitter cup I've had to do in a while, so make sure you get that handle as it comes around. So you get the base of the handle. And you're going to want to watch it for when it drops down to get the handle from either side. Like you'll want to catch this side when it's on its upturn. And this tiny shaker doesn't hold a ton, so I'm going to have to stop and reload it in a minute. Just sneak my paper out from under there. And keep going. Again, make sure you pay special attention to the handle. Because that will be the hardest to get a full coverage. This is a light yellow, so it's not necessarily looking fully covered in the lighting, but it is. And it is using quite a bit of glitter. I'm going to reload my shaker a little bit because I do have to get the bottom. I am personally not a fan of using Mod Podge unless I absolutely have to for something. So I prefer the epoxy method when it's an option. So I'm just going to go over it again. Probably any spots that did get missed will get filled. I'm going to try and shake some down the side of that handle and the top of the handle. And anything that's not necessary will just fall back off onto your paper. So I do recommend keeping a paper underneath it. Now for the bottom, I'm going to get right in your face with it. I'm just going to sprinkle from the edge as it turns. You can, if you're not worried about saving the glitter, just take the cup off the turner if your turner allows, and smoosh it right in the glitter pile, but I'm not a huge fan of doing that. So, whoa. that's it. That is full coverage, one coat. This will get a flood coat in a little bit. These aren't actually white spots, it's just the way the light's coming in the window behind this, and hitting the iridescent in the glitter. But I assure you it does have full coverage. So I'm just going to check. I'm going to look at the handle and make sure that everything is covered. But this one's going to get just a flood coat. I could flood it in as little as 4 hours if I wanted to. I may or may not get back to flooding it tonight. And then this particular cup is going to get spray paint or decals. Yep, and it's going to get decaled and spray painted and then wood grained over. So this isn't going to be just a glitter tumbler when it's done. But that is the basics of using the epoxy method to glitter. I will try and come in and do a darker color one at some point when I have a solid darker color, because you'd be able to see it better probably on a darker color. I just happen to need yellow for this one.